Hey guys, Michael from Copper vs Glass, and in today's video we are looking at the Smart Live Stream Cam from AI Coco. Now basically it's a webcam that follows you. Let's take a look. So as always, a little bit of housekeeping before we get into today's video. The AI Coco live stream camera comes in at around $159, although it can be up to $199 depending on if they've got any sales on and things like that. But as always, it will be linked in the description down below, and of course it comes in only one color, which is a really nice sort of gunmetal space gray sort of color. In the box you're going to be getting a USB-C to USB-A cable. Now it would have been nice, especially with something like a MacBook Pro, to have a USB-C to C cable, but it's not that much of an issue once you've got an adapter. You're going to get some paperwork and then of course the camera itself. However, one of the great things about this camera is you don't need to look too much into the paperwork. Yes, there are some gestures which we will get onto when we actually test the webcam, but just in general there's no software, no setup, it's plug and play, you're set and ready to go. Now the stream cam comes in with a 2K resolution and it's going to be around 25 frames per second, and it's got a ton of smart AI gesture features built in as well, and it basically just auto tracks you. Now yes, there may be some other webcam options out there that offer maybe a higher frame rate, maybe around 60 frames a second, but most of the time they are limited to 1080p. So again, at 2K to get some really nice image quality, that sounds pretty good to me, and we'll look exactly how good it looks when we go onto the samples. Now it comes with a built-in double brushless motor, so what that also means is when it is going to be tracking you and moving around to look for you in the room, zooming in and out, up, down, left, right, however it's going to be, it's hopefully going to be very silent so that the person on the other end isn't going to be hearing you. However, that shouldn't be a problem because it does also come with some noise reduction microphones built in as well, and again we'll see exactly how good they sound when we get onto the test sample of the video. So with a resolution of 2560 by 1440, hopefully it's going to give you a better image quality than what you're going to find on most modern laptops, or even some webcams that you can buy secondary. Now, for me, I'm using a MacBook Pro, so the webcam itself is not necessarily the best out there, usually around 720 or 1080p, depending on the version of the MacBook that you've got. However, a lot of Windows laptops aren't necessarily the best, so this may be something for you guys. So without further ado, what I'm going to be doing is getting the webcam set up now on my current setup, getting everything put in place, so the next portion of this video is going to be solely with the webcam itself, until I say otherwise towards the end of the video for the outro. So yeah, let's see if it actually is any good. So we are now live on the Smart Live Stream Cam, and as you can see, I think the overall pitch quality is actually pretty good. Now I am also going to have a quick sort of picture-in-picture side of things just up here, which will actually have a video recording of what the camera is doing at the same time as what you guys are seeing on here as well. And again, if you do see me glance down occasionally and up, it's because I'm looking at the actual laptop screen with the picture on there, just in regards to sort of pointing anything out, color issues, artifacts, anything like that. But yeah, this is what we're going to be working with this 2K webcam. Now, I think what we'll do is we'll start off with the overall pitch quality, then we'll go into some of the AI features before doing sort of a final roundup. So as you can see here, in regards to the overall color side of things, yes, it looks okay, but maybe a little bit off in regards to the overall sort of saturation and the colors overall. Now, one thing that I do appreciate, just kind of having a quick look down at the screen here, is my face isn't sort of blown out or anything, which you do sometimes find with a lot of webcams, with a lot of stuff going on in the background, even with this bright light in the background just over this side, for example. Again, you don't really have any sort of blown out areas. Now, so if I do bring sort of my hand close to the screen and things, and you can see maybe some of the highlights do come into play then, but overall it's not really too much of an issue. And obviously I've got my two sort of studio lights set up here at the moment as well, and I think it looks okay. But for me though, if I do this is more sort of the color profile and the overall saturation levels that I would go for if I was, for example, producing a YouTube video to actually put out there online. Just increase that saturation ever so slightly, maybe, play around with the exposure side of things as well, as opposed to this, which is obviously what we're going to have with the actual webcam itself. And while the noise levels aren't necessarily the worst out there, you do have some sort of noise, for example, so in my shirt over this side here, for example, and in this sort of top section, it's a little bit grainy, and also if you're looking over here at the sofa side of things as well, again it looks kind of greenish blue, whereas it's actually a grey sofa, and again a fair amount of noise there, and again sort of more darker areas. But again, with the sort of noise levels and those sort of dark areas and light areas, you would expect that with pretty much any webcam, unless you are using a actual proper camera, a mirrorless camera, DSLR, your phone, whatever it may be, that has really good sort of color balance levels pixels or HDR, for example, with like my Galaxy S22, then you are expected to find some noisy areas, maybe some blown out areas as well. But I actually think that this webcam overall does a really good job at kind of bringing everything to more of an even color balance level, and I actually think it looks pretty good. But now though, onto the smart AI features. So at the moment, there's no AI kind of running, I guess. You do have to use gestures to actually make things work on the camera. So at the moment, there is a red light on the side of the camera, which basically means that it is on, but it doesn't have the tracking feature enabled. Now it does have the zoom feature, but the zoom feature isn't necessarily very kind of useful unless you are using it along with the tracking side of things. Because for example, the zoom in, if I do this shape here, it's going to zoom in just in the center of the frame, and obviously it's then going to put me at the bottom, and I can do that again to zoom out. And as you can see, there's two levels of zoom. So you've got the super wide angle, wide, and then more of a close-up angle as well. Now for me though, however, if you do the OK symbol, I've now got a green light on the camera, which now means that if I move around, the camera is then going to track me and follow me and basically just go wherever I go. And then if you use the zoom feature again, the camera's then going to move to center my face better in the frame overall, and again then zooming out. Now you saw then that when I was doing certain gestures, so if I sort of frame up my face, for example, and do that, it is going to zoom in and again do it again, which you may not want it to do. So although the gestures are, you know, pretty good overall, sometimes you do accidentally do a gesture which then starts it going. So for example, the tracking side of things is on now, and all you have to do is put your hand up to stop the tracking. So again, if I was at a meeting or talking to someone, I was like, wait, hold on a second, and then I went back to talking, the tracking is now turned off. So this one is a pretty good gesture in regards to turning the tracking on and off, because I don't know about you guys, but when I'm on a video call or a Zoom call or a family chat, whatever it might be, I don't really do this too often. So again, definitely something to keep in mind with kind of watching out what your hands are doing at any one time while you are actually on a video call. However, if I do actually stand up and get out of this chair, for example, and then go back here, walk around, again, it does a pretty good job overall at actually tracking me and tracking my movement. If I move a little bit quicker, for example, it still does a pretty good job at actually tracking me. If I was to sort of crouch down and show you something on the floor, for example, again, does a good job at the overall tracking side of things as well. And again, if I was to now zoom into that sort of 2 times, 1, 2, then it, again, pretty good job in regards to keeping me centered and framed. Now, there's a little bit more headroom that I would like, but you know, that's kind of where the actual webcam is set up. It has a certain amount of movement in regards to sort of the up and down motion as well, which is definitely something to sort of, you know, keep in mind, I guess. We'll just zoom out again. Oh, zoom in, hold on 1 second. Zoom in, zoom out, zoom out, there we go. And again, we've also got the microphone. So the microphone is coming directly from the camera itself as well, which is kind of, I would say, an arm's length away from me, which most people may actually be sitting slightly closer to their webcam. And with the wide angle, you do also, you know, have the opportunity to get closer if you want to. But I think overall, the actual tracking side of things is probably one of the best parts of the webcam. You know, the autofocus isn't necessarily great. I'm not actually 100% sure if there is autofocus. That's not really anything on the actual box itself. So again, if I was to bring this into frame, bring it closer, I don't think that's focused at all. And again, it will track my face as well. So if I'm sort of wanting to show you this product and I'm kind of moving over here, the product is then going to go out of frame. So you do have to kind of put it in the center of your face, I guess, trying to hide your face. But again, you're probably going to get that with a lot of other, you know, sort of webcams and things. But I think overall, it still does a very good job with regards to the color representation. The microphone actually sounds pretty good. I did do a test before actually doing this portion of the video, so I know that it sounds actually okay. And again, those AI features in regards to the tracking side of things and the zooming in side of things, it actually does a really good job overall, and it's probably one of the better webcams that I've actually tried. And in regards to the AI tracking and actually following you around, it's probably the best webcam that I've tried in regards to that particular feature. And that's going to do it, guys, for this video on the Smart Live Stream Cam from AI Coco. Now, for me, in terms of the overall tracking feature, it actually looks really good, tracks me really well, zooming in and out, and if I'm just moving around the room and things, I think it actually does a pretty good job. Now, although it is a 2K resolution sensor, the image quality didn't necessarily live up to what I was expecting. However, like I mentioned, it is still going to be a lot better than what you are going to find on the majority of webcams or laptops out there. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up down below. And if you guys have any recommendations or just in general want to let me know what sort of setup or webcam situation you've got at the moment, let me know in the comments section down below. If you're not already subscribed, now is a great time to do so. And once you hit that subscribe button, don't forget to turn on notifications so you're notified anytime I post a video here on the channel. I'm Michael from Copper vs Glass. Thanks very much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next video.